Herzlich willkommen zum Schlagabtausch, eurem Schlagzeugmagazin im Podcast-Format. Heute mit dem Mann, der hinter Europas größten Drum-Shows steckt. Los geht's.
Ihr hört Schlagabtausch,
Der Podcast.
für alle Schlagzeugbegeisterten.
Wir sind
Dirk Brand und
Timo Ickenroth
mit Tipps und Hacks.
und dem Allerneuesten aus der Schlagzeug- und Percussion-Szene.
Viel Spaß beim Hören.
Ich heiße euch alle dort draußen herzlich willkommen zur 134. Ausgabe des Schlagabtausch Podcasts mit mir, Timo Ickenroth, und meinem lieben Freund und Best Buddy-Kollegen Dirk Brand. Hi Dirk.
Das war mal nett. Schönen guten Morgen, ihr Lieben da draußen zusammen. Übrigens, ich weiß gar nicht, wir haben heute Rosenmontag, also Allah, Felau und was auch immer.
Oder
Aber bei uns ist heute Nacht ganz viel Schnee gefallen. Also bei uns war gar nichts. Also gestern Nacht, als ich ins Bett gegangen bin, war nix. Und jetzt ist richtig hoher Schnee. Bei euch wahrscheinlich noch anders. Aber bei uns heute Morgen war das ein bisschen so,
nein, bei uns war es so, also ich bin ja im Westerwald.
ja,
Und hier hat es gestern Abend angefangen zu schneien. Und zwar richtig viel, so, keine Ahnung, ich glaube ab 8 Uhr durchgehend bis irgendwie in die Nacht. Also es
Ja,
war
das musste-
ordentlich Schnee. Und heute Morgen lag der Schnee immer noch, aber es war eigentlich nur noch Matsch. Also weißer Matsch, wahnsinnig schwer beim Wegräumen, hat total
Genau.
Spaß gemacht.
nee.
Und dann auch kurzer Aufreger des Tages. Ich mache also so schön
wir
unseren
schon lange
Bürgersteig. Ja, hatten wir schon lange nicht mehr. Ich mache so schön unseren Bürgersteig sauber. Ich gebe mir wirklich Mühe. Und wir haben so ein paar Meter Bürgersteig auch, unser Haus. Und ich räume den Schnee und gehe danach Gassi, wie es weiß ja anständig. Man macht ja erst die Straße frei. Und dann komme ich zurück und denke, okay, da hat nämlich der liebe Bauhof, Grüße gehen raus an den Bauhof in Montabaur, mit seinem Schneewegschiebegerät mal schön den ganzen Schnee wieder auf den Bürgersteig geschoben, den er von der
Geil.
Straße natürlich weg haben wollte. Also dachte ich mir, mein Gott, Leute, der ist auch irgendwie, ich habe den noch gehört, wie der auch hinter mir hergebrettert ist. Also wirklich so durch mit so einem, voll mit dem Schneeschieber da. Also es war,
Geil.
der war schnell unterwegs, der Kollege, und hat mal wieder alle Bürgersteige voll gemacht. Da dachte ich mir, also jetzt räume ich nicht nochmal weg. Es sieht jetzt, ich meine, ich liebe diesen ästhetischen Anblick eines sauberen Bürgersteigs dann leider. Ich bin da echt so komplett irgendwie auf Blem. Aber ich habe gedacht, jetzt hat
geil.
er draufgeladen, diesen Matsch, der liegt jetzt halt da. Ist
Ja.
mir jetzt egal.
Nein,
Wenn
das
jetzt
ist ja
einer
auch
sich
das,
beschweren kommt, sage ich, beschwer dich beim Bauhof.
ja, aber da ranken sich ja auch alle Mythen. Also man ist ja, glaube ich, man hat ja die Bürgerpflicht als Hausbesitzer, dass du die Bürgersteige räumen musst. Aber das ist auch gar nicht immer so einfach, besonders du kannst ja auch nicht, zum Beispiel bei uns, also es hat gestern Abend schon leicht angefangen zu schneien, aber das war eher so ein bisschen Schneeregen. Ne? Also das war so 50-50. Ne? Und wann steht man dann auf? Und da ich ja jetzt nicht um 6 Uhr aufstehe, ne?
Ja,
So,
soweit
das
ist.
ist
So, jetzt kommt's. Wenn dort draußen, liebe Zuhörende und Zuschauende, jemand ist, der vom Fach ist, das heißt, was wir jetzt hier machen, ist keine anwaltliche Beratung.
Nein, ist
Davon distanzieren wir uns sehr, sehr weit. Das
Ja.
heißt, was ich gehört habe, und
Jetzt
deswegen,
aber.
wenn da jemand da draußen Ahnung hat, schreibt es in die Kommentare rein, dass wir es auch wirklich mal einfach mal für alle klarstellen können. Ich glaube, ist ein wichtiger Punkt. Ich habe gehört, werktags ist man verpflichtet, ab 7 Uhr morgens zu räumen. Das heißt,
Das
selbst wenn
kennt
du
man
erst
ja
um
gar
8
nicht.
Uhr aufstehst, ja, sorry, wärst du trotzdem dazu verpflichtet, um 7 Uhr zu räumen.
Ja, ehrlich?
Und ich glaube, bis abends 21 Uhr, wenn ich mich recht entsinne.
Ey, Wahnsinn.
Man muss aber nicht räumen, wenn es noch am Schneien ist, weil das macht ja auch dann tatsächlich wenig Sinn. Wenn du um 7 Uhr stehst, du räumst, aber es schneit noch wie aus, keine Ahnung, als würde Frau Holle dort oben noch ihre Kissen wahnsinnig ausschütteln. Dann musst du erst räumen, soweit ich es mitbekommen habe, wenn es aufgehört hat zu schneien oder deutlich weniger geworden ist. Aber wie gesagt, das ist keine rechtsverpflichtende Beratung hier, sondern wie immer
Spannend.
ungesundes Halbwissen. Aber
Spannend.
wenn dort draußen jemand ist, Anwalt oder tatsächlich auch vielleicht vom
Genau, das
Ordnungsamt.
interessiert mich ja noch. Muss man das? Ist es wirklich noch? Weil bei meinem Vater, 86 Jahre, da ist die Straße geleckt und der kann eigentlich nicht mehr. Und ich finde das eigentlich unvernünftig.
Ohne Quatsch, bei unserer Nachbarin, die ist auch so alt. Ich meine, jetzt ist auch nicht so viel Meter, aber ich meine trotzdem, so 16, 10 Meter ist ja für jemand, der über 85 ist, auch schon mal eine Leistung.
Ja.
Vor allem, wenn der Schnee so schwer ist wie heute Morgen, auch der Matsch.
Ja.
Also auch, als hätte da nie Schnee gelegen. Ich glaube, der Bürgersteig ist von unten beheizt an der Stelle.
Oh.
So. Das ist so meine Vermutung mittlerweile.
Mega.
Nein, Wahnsinn. Und auch
Also,
immer, wenn ich
genau,
schon
bei
aufstehe,
meinem
ist schon
Vater-
gemacht.
Genau, bei meinem Vater auch, da ziehe ich echt. Erstmal ist das so, man macht das ja auch so und das sieht ja, man muss das so machen. Was sollen denn die Leute denken? Das ist bei meinen Eltern, das ist bei uns jüngeren Generationen, glaube ich, nicht mehr ganz so extrem. Ich werde nie vergessen.
Ich finde das gerade lustig, dass du bei uns von jüngerer Generation sprichst.
Ja, aber gegenüber meinen Eltern, die natürlich schon viele Jahre älter sind.
Ja, fühlen wir uns heute besser. Hast du
Nein,
recht.
ey, absolut. Nein, aber
Aber
ich werde nie.
ich kenne das auch, dass du dann so, wenn jetzt unser Nachbar räumt, also mein
Genau,
direkter
dann
Nachbar,
muss.
dann denke ich, ja scheiße, jetzt muss ich aber auch mal
Ja,
räumen. Ey.
genau.
Verdammt, ey.
Aber ich werde nie vergessen, samstags morgens, ich habe freitags abends einen Gig gespielt, war 6 Uhr zu Hause, mein Vater um 8 Uhr raus, wir müssen arbeiten, du musst mir helfen. Dann stehen wir bei uns, also vorm Haus und schippen so einen Sandhaufen weg und dann frage ich irgendwann meinen Vater, ich war völlig tranig noch, warum schütten wir den Sandhaufen eigentlich weg? Es ist Wochenende, das sieht nicht aus, was sollen denn die Nachbarn denken? Was wäre ich nie ich bin ausgeflippt, das hat mir hinterher so leid, aber ich dachte, Vater, das ist mir doch scheißegal. Irgendwie, ey, also ja, das meinte ich mit der älteren Generation. So, jetzt haben wir jetzt ganz viel schon Off-Tipp.
Aber nochmal der Aufruf, schreibt in die Kommentare,
Ja, genau.
wenn ihr was genau wisst, was mich auch noch interessiert in dem Zusammenhang, wenn wir schon mal dabei sind. Übrigens,
Gott.
das ist ein Schlagzeug-Podcast.
Ja.
Wenn wir schon mal dabei sind, was ist mit Salz? Ist Salz
Oh.
streuen überhaupt noch erlaubt?
Nein,
Ist es nicht
soweit
erlaubt?
ich das weiß, nein.
Warum streut dann jeder Salz? Warum kriegst du in jedem Supermarkt zu kaufen?
Ja.
Es ist ja kein Kochsalz, das ich in die Suppe
Nee.
reinschmeiße. Also, was ist damit los? Was ist mit diesem Mythos Salz? Das würde
Ja,
ich auch mal gerne
also, ja,
sehen.
okay.
Also, wenn ihr da genaues wisst, haut's raus, klärt uns alle auf und dann sind wir alle wieder ein bisschen schlauer. So, das war schön mit euch. Machen wir Schluss für heute.
Ja, das reicht eigentlich schon. Genau. Bevor es jetzt weitergeht und ausartet, Timo, der heutige Rundown.
Nachdem wir den Smalltalk ja quasi schon abgehandelt haben, kommen wir mal ganz kurz noch auf unser anstehendes Trump Camp Ende März zu sprechen. Daran im Anschluss der Hauptteil des Interviews, ein Interview mit dem Macher, dem Organisator, dem Kopf hinter der UK und der anstehenden Europe Drum Show Neil Golding. Der Dirk hat dann noch ein spezielles, sagen wir mal, Schätzchen für euch, das mit einem Apfel zu tun hat. Und es ist eine Snare Drum aus Apfelbaumholz von dem Holger Reith von Handmade Custom Drums. Anschließend natürlich noch, wie üblich, die Chefkoch-Empfehlung der Woche und Outro. Für alle, die sich wundern, ich habe mich kurz umgesetzt, wenn der Winkel jetzt anders aussieht. Ja, man weiß ja
Entschuldigt,
nicht.
dass ich lache.
Man
Aber
weiß
nein,
ja
es sieht sehr schön aus. Also du
Wunderbar,
siehst
oder?
auch
Ich sehe jetzt,
besser
guck mal, ich
aus.
muss jetzt nur die Lampe anmachen, hätte ich wieder einen Heiligenschein.
Ja, das sieht doch geil aus. Hat
Hätte ich auch
nicht jeder.
verdient. Hätte ich verdient. So,
Absolut.
aber wir müssen noch unser Drum Camp kurz erwähnen, das ja ansteht. Und zwar am 28. und 29. März ist unser Frühjahrs-Drum Camp und es sind noch 2 Plätze frei. Und wer jetzt überlegt, na, ist das denn vielleicht was für mich? Oder was machen die 2 denn da überhaupt? Also wir unterhalten uns nicht wirklich übers Wetter, das kann man an der Stelle schon mal sagen, sondern es wird viel getrommelt. Wir haben ja 2 komplette Tage, Samstag, Sonntag. An jedem Tag wird bis zu 6 Stunden da, oder mehr als 6 Stunden getrommelt. Mindestens 6 Stunden. In kleinen Gruppen, das heißt in Gruppen von maximal 7 bis 8 Menschen. Jeder sitzt an einem Drumset, das heißt, es wird auch aktiv getrommelt. Man hat nicht nur ein Pad, sondern in der Regel hat jeder ein E-Drum-Set, an dem man wirklich dann auch die Sachen, die wir im Unterricht, sage ich schon, die man in den Kursen, sage ich mal lieber so, machen, auch wirklich schon erproben, erarbeiten kann und trainieren kann und so weiter und so fort. Und inhaltlich haben wir diesmal ja schon große Themen am Start. aber auf Wunsch von Drumcamp-Mitgliedern, die jetzt ein zweites oder drittes oder viertes Mal sogar schon dabei sind. Und zwar kam der Wunsch auf nach Improvisieren lernen und damit einhergehend auch ein bisschen solieren lernen, was, finde ich, nicht unbedingt miteinander zu tun haben muss, aber
Nein,
für
nee.
mich tatsächlich schon, weil ich bin niemand, der ein Solo auswendig lernen möchte,
Das
Note
will ich
für
nie
Note.
hinkriegen. Hm.
Das ist Respekt vor jedem, der das macht. Krass, krass, krass. Ähm, also es geht um Improvisieren, es geht dann um Solieren und auch auf Wunsch von jemandem wird es um metrische Modulation gehen. Oha. Also es geht ans Eingemachte
Oh, das ist diesmal echt eine Menge.
und
Ja.
grundsätzlich, was ich immer mit am Start habe, sind sogenannte Essentials, finde ich, die immer mit dazugehören, die, egal auf welchem Level man spielt, immer parat haben sollte. Also so mal, sagen wir mal, das kleine Einmaleins des Schlagzeugspielens.
Ja.
Das wird sowieso immer mit auch irgendwo eingebaut werden in den Kursen. Also Dirk und ich halten diese Kurse 28. und 29. März. Wer noch mitmachen möchte, 2 Plätze sind noch frei. Einfach eine E-Mail an schlagabtauschpodcast@gmail.com oder anmelden über unsere Homepage. Dort gibt es ein Anmeldeformular für die Drumcamps. Der Link ist natürlich in den Shownotes. Jetzt habe ich ganz viel dazu gesagt. Dirk, wolltest du auch noch was loswerden? Oder?
Nee, eigentlich hast du alles gesagt. Also es wird spannend. Diesmal es sind viele Themen und auch jetzt ganz wichtig, also keine Panik kriegen irgendwie, sondern es werden euch kleine Bausteine an die Hand geliefert, wie ihr herangehen könnt. Es ist einfach mal so, weil es ist ja häufig so, da kommt der Satz, oh, Schlagzeug, Solo und was macht man dann? Und da möchte ich ein bisschen Licht ins Dunkel bringen, was man denn machen kann. Und das ist gar nicht unbedingt, ein Schlagzeug-Solo hat gar nicht unbedingt immer was mit höher, schneller, weiter zu tun, sondern man kann gerade mit Pausen sogar das muss ich mir selber auch ganz ehrlich auch immer wieder sagen, man kann auch mit Pausen unheimlich toll Spannung aufbauen, wahrscheinlich sogar mehr als alles andere, als wenn du nur da Jobs abliefert. Ähm, also, das, wie gesagt, viele Themen und was wir natürlich auch machen möchten, das ist auch hat sich so ein bisschen bei den letzten Drumcamps so ein bisschen ist das eingeführt und dass wir auch zusammenspielen werden auf jeden Fall mit allen. Das heißt, das können Rhythmusschulungen sein, das können, verschiedene Klatschkombinationen sein, das kann Kanon auf Schlagzeugbasis basierend sein. Also, das kann auch eine Samba Batucada zusammen sein, die wir alle zusammen machen. Das heißt, wir werden wieder was vorbereiten. Wir werden also neben dem Gruppenunterricht, in Anführungszeichen, weil wir 2 Gruppen jetzt sind, deshalb Einzelgruppenunterricht, werden wir auch natürlich was spielen.
Dirk hat ein neues Wort kreiert. Der
Einzelgruppen, geil,
Einzelgruppenunterricht.
ne? Habe ich gerade auch gedacht. Aber es klingt schön. Es klingt zumindest sehr professionell, finde ich.
Unbedingt.
Einzelgruppen.
Unbedingt.
Oh, und also wir werden auf jeden Fall auch zusammenspielen, weil das finde ich immer ganz wichtig, weil als Schlagzeuger, man spielt ja ganz selten auf der Bühne zusammen, außer mit einem Percussionisten. Und so haben wir die Möglichkeit, alle mal zusammenzuspielen. Also, merkt euch, 28., 29. März und das Ganze in Hörgrinshausen in der Tonfabrik in Timos Musikschule und es wird, ja, denke ich mal, ein ganz, ganz tolles, aufregendes Wochenende. Seid dabei.
Wie immer familiär und mit leckerem Mittagessen.
Ja.
Wir haben einen internationalen Gast bei uns begrüßen dürfen. Und das ist der Neil Golding. Zu ihm gleich mehr, aber vorab die Information, das Interview mussten wir in Englisch führen. Also ich entschuldige mich an dieser Stelle wieder ausdrücklich für mein schlechtes Schulenglisch. Gut, dass ich nicht so viel sprechen musste, sondern dass Neil sehr viel gesprochen hat. Aber er spricht nun mal auf Englisch. Das liegt halt daran, dass er Engländer ist und in England lebt und wir ihn auch gar nicht tatsächlich nach seinen Deutschkenntnissen gefragt haben. Aber ich denke mal, die werden nicht so ausreichend gewesen sein wie unsere Englischkenntnisse. Das heißt, an dieser Stelle, wenn ihr jetzt Probleme habt mit dem Folgen vielleicht, es gibt auf YouTube zumindest die Möglichkeit, sich das als deutschen Untertitel anzeigen zu lassen. Wir werden es nicht synchron übersetzen. Sorry, die Arbeit können wir nicht machen. Das ist wahnsinnig viel Arbeit, weil ihr kennt unsere Interviews. Das sind nicht 5 Minuten. Da hätte man sich das vielleicht noch überlegen können. Aber jetzt mal so Pi mal Daumen, 60 Minuten synchronisieren ist einfach zeitlich überhaupt nicht machbar, beziehungsweise in unserem Maße, wie wir das Ganze hier machen, einfach nicht zu stemmen. Das heißt, an dieser Stelle kommt unser zweites oder drittes Englisch-Interview. Denn Dirk hat nämlich auch im Podcast erwähnt, wir hatten ja auch schon den Randy Black mal drin.
Mhm.
Das war auf Englisch, aber nicht ganz so lang. Und natürlich den Ralph Selms, das war ja auch komplett auf Englisch. Also, an dieser Stelle, es kommt natürlich auch wieder deutsche Interviews, wir bleiben nicht komplett Englisch, aber aufgrund der Aktualität auch, dass die Euro Drum Show ja demnächst auch ansteht und wir mal ein bisschen hinter die Kulissen schauen wollten, haben wir überlegt, dass der Neil ein hervorragender Interviewpartner ist. Und wir hoffen, dass ihr trotz allem mit eurem Schulenglisch gut da durchkommt. Das Gute ist, er ist kein Schotte. Das heißt, man kann ihn sehr gut verstehen. Er redet auch nicht so ultra schnell. Er hat sich auch Mühe gegeben, glaube ich, verständlich und langsam für uns. Er hat gemerkt, dass ich auch nicht hinterherkomme. Also für uns langsam und deutlich zu sprechen. Und deswegen viel Spaß mit dem Interview. Und hier kommt aber noch eine kleine Einleitung von meiner Seite, damit ihr wisst, was jetzt auf euch zukommt. Denn Neil Golding, jetzt kommt der Hammer-Fact eigentlich in dieser Episode. Der Organisator der UK und der Europe Drum Show ist selber gar kein Schlagzeuger und gehört trotzdem zu den wichtigsten Figuren der europäischen Drum-Szene. Als Gründer der UK Drum Show und der Europe Drum Show hat er in den vergangenen Jahren Plattformen geschaffen, auf denen sich Profis, Nachwuchstalente, Lehrkräfte, Händler und Fans auf Augenhöhe begegnen. Nicht als Messe, sondern als lebendiger Treffpunkt einer Community. Was als mutiges Projekt begann, ist heute ein internationales Format mit Bühnen, Education-Räumen, Nachwuchsförderung und klarer Haltung. Drums sind mehr als Produkte, mehr als Technik. Sie sind Kultur, Handwerk, soziale Verbindung, eine Lebenseinstellung. Golding denkt dabei nicht in kurzfristigen Trends, sondern in Strukturen, Beziehungen und langfristiger Entwicklung. Im Gespräch mit Neil geht es um Vision und Verantwortung, um wirtschaftliche Realität und idealistische Ziele und um die Frage, wie man in einer digitalen Zeit echte Begegnung schafft. Ein Interview über Unternehmertum mit Haltung, über Community-Arbeit und über die Zukunft der Drummer-Szene. Los geht's. Ich spreche jetzt noch in Deutsch, denn ich bin super froh. I translate a little bit during I speak German. I'm very happy. Ich bin sehr froh, dass wir einen außergewöhnlichen Gast heute bei uns haben. An extraordinary guest. Und das ist der Organisator der UK Drum Show und der jetzt kürzlich anstehenden Europe Drum Show. Und das ist Neil Golding. Hello, Neil. Good morning in the UK.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good morning, Neil. Great to have you.
Yeah, great.
Really great to have you. Very special interview for us because, you're the organizer of two of the biggest drum events we have in Europe, or I would say worldwide. And it's really a pleasure for us. And what's very interesting, as I heard you're not a drummer yourself, is that correct?
That's quite right. Yeah, I don't hide the fact. That's it. Yes. Whenever I undertake any interviews, I do like to point out that I do not play drums. I love the drumming community. I think, and at my core, I love music. I mean, that's for me. This is why I do this. I love music. I was involved with many different music shows over the years, but the drumming community and drummers, well, there's something special, aren't they?
So, but it's very crazy. You're not a drummer by yourself, and you organize two of the biggest drum events. So, what connected you so deeply to the drummer community?
Good question. I'll try and keep it as short as possible.
Oh, we have time. We have time.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I mean, for anybody that doesn't know me, maybe some of the European watchers of this video, I entered into the music industry. Oh, crikey! It must be the best part of 20 years ago, and I worked for a small family music publisher back in the day when they used to print high street music magazines, which we all know, some still exist. There are some good magazines out there still that exist, but a good number of them have fallen by the wayside now. So the magazines I used to work on was an acoustic guitar magazine, a bass guitar magazine, an acoustic magazine, and drummer magazine, which was a UK high street drum magazine. And I got involved with it really initially on a commercial basis, to get involved with, selling booth spaces and things like that. But as the shows went on over the years, it was very apparent that my love for the drumming community and the companies and the individuals that work within it, well, they were just absolutely great to work with. They were just fun. They were passionate. A bit like, I suppose, a bit different from guitarists. Drummers are a very caring and sharing bunch. The guitar. No, nothing against guitarists.
No,
I
for
just
sure.
want to add. But the drum guy is often the guy sat at the back, keeping it all together. And so I always had a really sort of special place in my heart when I used to run multiple shows. But the drumming show was, it was a special thing. It was a very special thing. So I worked for a few different companies back in the day. Some of your viewers may know the London Drum Show.
Yeah.
So I launched and ran that show for this very same small family publisher back in the day. And to keep it brief, that company sold the drum show to another business, then to another business, and I was just becoming part of a transaction. And by that point, obviously, I knew a lot of the drumming guys, the companies, a lot of the artists as well too, because I speak to a lot of the artists. Because I was heavily involved, and obviously still am, with booking and confirming artists for the shows. So in 2017, I decided to, let's just do this myself. I keep being sold every time, along with the businesses. And I just thought, I'll be the master of my own destiny now. I know what's going on if I'm doing things. So 2017, I launched UK Drum Show, which is it's a 10-year anniversary next year.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And then really just before COVID, we'd had a number of conversations with the trade, and they said, look, we've got this great thing going on in the UK, but what's going on in Europe? What's going on in Germany as well? Can we do something? And there we go. That was the birth of the Europe Drum Show last year.
Whoa. And when you founded the UK Drum Show in 2017, how big did you think it could get from there on?
Yeah, I mean,
because it's very big. It's a really big. Sorry, I've never been there, but Dirk was there already.
Yeah,
I think he can say it's a really big drum show and really unique.
It is now. Yeah, I mean, it was. I suppose when I launched in 2017, for those that don't know, the show was run in Manchester, which is another fantastic city, and again a great venue. And the show was growing and growing, and it's like anything. The longer you're out there doing something and there's a cool vibe with it, it attracts more artists. They're interested in getting involved with the show. And the longer it's out there, obviously social media plays its part, and other companies around the world see what's going on, and it grew and grew and grew. It obviously grew and grew and grew until 2019.
Okay. Yeah.
And then 2020, oh my God. We can't complain. There's a lot of people that suffered a lot worse than we did, but my goodness, what a change in the world, and everything everybody went through. So
I think you have just to say it was COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yes, COVID. So for the show and the size it is now, I mean, the crazy thing is, when I look back, absolute madness when I think about it, is that the show in the UK Drum Show in Manchester was almost at capacity with exhibition space, and what we didn't have was the same amount of experience rooms like we have in Liverpool. So whilst everything was stopped and nobody was doing anything, and there was no gigs, there was no festivals, there was no exhibitions like ourselves, the interest from the drummers And some of the amazing messages I had from drummers during COVID that knew that we couldn't run the show because for obvious reasons, but just said, look, hang in there. There'll come a time when we can all come back together again, and we really need this. And this was some of the comments and feedback I had from the industry, from those that exhibited and those who were hoping to join us in the future. So I was in this tricky situation where I'm like, my goodness, I'm not running a show. We're possibly at capacity. Everything is shut down. And now I need to consider going somewhere bigger when I don't have a date of when the show can come back because of COVID. I can't tell anybody when it's going to come back because I've got no idea. But the interest and the love for it is still very much there at its heart. So I remember I drove. I'm based in a little village called Braunton, which is based in North Devon, which is the southwest of England. And I can remember getting in my car during COVID because you were allowed to, some of the restrictions, you were allowed to travel for business. And I can remember I got in my car and I drove 4.5 hours up to Liverpool thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? To meet with the Liverpool venue with face masks on, social distancing and everything else. And I drove 4.5 hours on the motorway and I saw hardly any cars whatsoever. There was lorries moving food and things around, but it was a very, very surreal, very, very strange time, a very strange time. And I think I'm looking, I had to look at a bigger venue whilst we were closed down and think, look, we will come back. We'll come back at some point. I don't know when, but we need to be prepared. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. So 2020, 2022, when everything got lifted, we opened the doors at the ACC Liverpool with a bigger show. Crazy. And more experience rooms. And the thing has just got bigger and bigger every year. So yeah, so that's a bit of the history of what went on and some of the thinking and the scary moments of, do we go big whilst we're shut down? Yeah. And thankfully, it worked out.
Neil, what you should explain, because probably the UK or the European drum show is quite different than a normal music fair. You should explain the concept behind it, because you just said you have experience rooms, and some people don't know, because it's not a normal drum festival. It's a lot of more than that. Maybe explain your concept, because what is an experience room? Because you guys in Europe come to the European drum show to Friedrichshafen, because it's not a normal music fair where you just can see instruments, but it's more like this. Please explain what it's all about.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I talk about it like obviously I know all about it, but everybody may not. So, I mean, the UK show and Europe Drum Show are at different stages in their lives. But to touch upon the experiences side of it, I mean, you're quite right, Dirk. I mean, it isn't just turn up and see product. I mean, not that that's still a good thing. And I'll come back to that in a moment. But we have the exhibitor halls at both shows where you would expect to see and try the products and what have you. And in some instances, you can buy and take away gear as well. So that's all great. And some of the companies use the shows for launches. I mean, we've had a couple of worldwide launches at UK back in October last year. So that's great. So it's a first look. But for me, I'm a family guy. I've got a daughter and 5 stepsons. So we've got a big family and lots of grandchildren. And so what we wanted to do is to create experiences and memories. Because I think going through COVID, I think that really brought home the importance of family, community, a passion and love for music, and experiences now for me they're really up there. People took a lot of things not necessarily for granted, but just things that they would be able to do every day, and they couldn't. So when we came back, I just wanted to make everybody's weekend as memorable as possible. So we had main stage performances. between UK and Europe, it's between 1,000 and 1,300 seat auditorium and a theatre that we've created in Europe for people to, have a more intimate feeling, I guess, with some of these drummers. We've had some fantastic artists. I mean, last year at Europe, we had Christoph Schneider, which is, unbelievable from Rammstein. And that was the first time he'd ever done a show like what we do. And I guess for drummers and for fans of certain artists, especially in big bands like that, to be able to almost see close up within reason, an artist, like that, and hear them perform away from the band in that instance, I'd like to think that was quite special, and we had a good turnout for that. The other thing that we have is we have clinics. We have various artists get involved with clinics in the Mike Dolbear room. Mike Dolbear is a lifelong committed, passionate drummer who believes in the future of drummers and young drummers. He runs a young drummer competition. Used to be in the UK, but now it's worldwide with partners at Zildjian, which is a great thing. And we have Mike Johnston, which many drummers, I would imagine, would know. He's an international name and brand now, and he, along with special guests, will come along and they will give advice on, learning and, different advice and tips to help you on your drumming journey. So that's another thing that people can experience, and it's all part of, an entrance ticket to the show is a gateway to all of these things. It's they come in the show and they can trial these different things. And then we've got other experiences. So I think for Europe in particular, we've got a Sapien experience room in Europe this year. So folks are coming to a bit more of a, I say sterile environment, but a quieter environment where people can hear the intricacies of cymbals away from the main hall, which, if you're drummers, you're there to hit stuff. It's a noisy place. It is a noisy place. So bring the headphones or earplugs. But so we have things like the Sapien Experience Room. There are other things that we are going to be adding to Europe over time as well. In the UK, we've got, I think it's something like 16 experience rooms in the UK now. And we have, there's practice pad sessions, there's advice on things. Drumeo were doing free drum lessons at UK last year. So I suppose what we've got to remember or compare, I suppose, is UK show is 10 years old next year. Europe drum shows, it will be 2 years old this April. So it's like everything. We've got to scale it up accordingly. But as you say, Dirk, it's not just about seeing gear. There'll be other features and things that will add to Europe over the years to come. But it's really, for people that are turning up, it's to come away motivated and inspired wherever they are in their drumming journey, whether they're little ones or whether they're senior citizens, because we get a mixture of all ages there. So so it's just to come away, have a great experience, and take something back. Take back home with you to improve your drumming.
So you talk about the experience. What I think is the main thing about this whole show. But what would you say somebody who says, okay, experience is fine, but I experience all the things on the internet. I can hear, for example, the Sapien symbol on the Sapien YouTube channel. I can see Mike Johnston as educator on his channel. But from your point of view, what would you say somebody who tells you this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the internet now and social media is great for all of these things. I think it's the instantaneous, very, very quick download, watch, whatever it is. We live in a world of instantaneous now. You can download an album onto your phone in a matter of seconds, and I think that's all good. But I think it still comes back to whatever part you play is, whether you're an artist, whether you're a show organizer, whether you're somebody that helps run the stages, we are in the entertainment business. We are in an environment where people are driven and motivated by human contact and sense and feel and music, and it's something that you feel. I mean, I recently wrote an article following a visit to the NAMM show, and there's some clever stuff out there with AI and all the rest of it, and there's a lot of, I wouldn't say complaints, but there's comments about is it going to replace musicians and music and all the rest of it. And I think, look, it will have its place. It will have its place, but if you asked AI to write a piece of music, and however great it was, if you asked it, how does that make you feel? What would it answer? How could it answer how it makes it feel? And I think that's the thing. I know I keep referring back to COVID, but when that horrible time in our past, the one thing that I noticed a lot, because as an organizer, of course I see the artists play or watch some of the education clinics and what have you. Even as a non-drummer, I still find it really interesting. But what I notice is I look at the people that are attending, and just their faces, the smiles, the enthusiasm, and the passion that comes across. And a lot of people, I've had non-drummers come up to me at both shows, as well as drummers, and say, that was just really inspiring, to get together in a place and share a common love for drumming. And I just don't think you just can't get that on the internet. I think if we just immerse ourselves in online content only, I think we're just going to get further and further away from what really matters. And it's about getting people together, hearing and feeling, and appreciating music by humans. Wherever you are, you can't replace it. I've watched lots of different gigs. I've been to the theatre, I've been to festivals, and I can tell when you're at Glastonbury and you're stood one person in 200,000 people watching Guns N' Roses or Elton John, and I was there for both of those gigs, and you watch it on the telly afterwards or online, and it's not the same thing. It's not. It's the heat from the lights. It's the emotion. It's the person who stood next to you, a fully grown man, crying, listening to Elton John's "Your Song" because it's moved him. And you just cannot do that. And I'm not saying it. It still creates emotion watching things online or TV. There's great surround sound systems and all the rest of it, all the tech. But you can't beat being in the moment at that time, listening to it, and you're sharing it. I think that's the thing when I think about it. You're sharing that experience with thousands of other people simultaneously. When you and I are talking now, it's virtual, it's great. But when you're in a room of thousands of people and it's,
I think you can really feel the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You can't get the atmosphere via perhaps a little bit, but not in this massive feeling via a screen. It's not possible.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think it's great to have the digital world, but you touched my heart because when you say, hey, you have to go to concerts, it's never the feeling when you watch a concert on DVD in the past or now a live stream, it will never catch the atmosphere. It's what you just said, the heat, the smell, the noise. And I think this is, internet can't do it. And this is so important. Why I think the experience rooms or the clinics, it's where we all got together. It's so important, and that's so important for to keep the music alive. In my opinion, that's all about music. Music is talking to people, talking with instruments, talking in real life, and it's so different.
It is. It really is, and every year that we do these shows, such a rewarding thing, and I hope that the artists that are involved with the shows also come away and think, do you know what? It's not what you can take away, but it's what you can contribute. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You conclude a show and you don't think, oh, brilliant, we've sold this amount of tickets, or brilliant, we've got another exhibitor. You're sending people away thinking they'll remember that. They'll remember that for years to come. They've met Christoph Schneider, or UK Drum Show. There was a small experience room that had 30 guests in there with Eloy Casagrande from Slipknot, and you think, where would that happen anywhere else? It wouldn't. So it's as you say, it's the human contact, it's the feeling, it's the emotion that AI can't do that. We're the only species on the world that feel motivated by that community and the sense of feeling and music and everything else. It's a gift, so it shouldn't be taken for granted.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about you as the organizer, and so is the drum show in Europe and the UK drum show, is this your main business? Is it just a hobby? What different projects are going on? So let's talk about you and your
sure, yeah,
your job. Can you say this?
The day job is largely given to shows. So I think, and that's why maybe they've become the size that they have, because we always finish a show and think, right, what could we do better? What else could we add to the shows? So yes, shows are a large part of my life, and they take up a huge amount of time.
How many shows do you plan over the year?
So it's just UK and Europe Drum Show.
Okay.
But also in the background, we have a B2B site, or B2C as it's also becoming, is a site called Music Instrument News. So again, it's to serve the music industry with sharing their latest product news and innovations, to share with retailers and music teachers and schools and hire companies and everything else. So we've got a B2B site, Music Instrument News. So that is it's all web based. We also have another review site called Drummers Review, which is where companies will send, not me obviously, but they'll send gear for guys that work for me to review them and give impartial advice. So I suppose, like in the same way with a drum show, people come along and try gear. The companies are going to be talking about just their products, whereas we'll have gear come in. The guys will be as honest as they can and just say, look, this is what we honestly think. Is it good value for money? Is it not? Does it sound great? Does it not? So we've got that. There's a YouTube channel for that and a website for that. And we have something similar for acoustic guitar as well. So, so 2 or 3 websites plus the shows as well.
And what does a typical year of planning for a show looks like?
It is a marathon that never finishes. You run 26 miles and you get to the end, and then you put on a new pair of trainers and you just start again. It's what does it look like? Yeah, I mean, practically speaking, we sort of finish the shows, try and decompress for a week or so, listen to our feedback, look at some of the content that's been shared online, and then I suppose we then we put questions out on social media or eShop saying, what did you think? Is there anybody you'd like to see? Is there any experiences that you would like us to try and provide for you? So then really the 12 months that follows, which always seems to go incredibly quickly. And I think the trade think that too sometimes. I mean, that they'll look up and go, oh, hang on a minute. We're only 60 days away and I've not done this or this. And I'm like, oh no. So it's looking at artists, it's liaising with, in the instance of both shows, Mike Johnson and Mike Dolbear, getting a feel from them who they might like to bring to the show. Those guys have got and my blessing to go and find who they would like. for their rooms. I don't generally get too involved with the artists for appearing in those rooms, but they share who they would like to bring forward. It's crunching numbers, unfortunately, behind everything. It's still a business. So it's logistics, it's planning, it's hundreds and hundreds of conversations, even down to the smallest of details, liaising with artists, if there's certain artists that you want to see, are they available, waiting to hear from them, or dealing with their management and waiting to hear back from those guys. And it all takes time. So it's a combination, and looking for new ideas. I can remember, as soon as getting in the car and driving home from UK Drum Show a couple of years ago, because we're very blessed, whether anyone recognises it, but in the UK and the Europe show, we're very lucky that we have lots of young people that are interested in playing drums. Lots of little ones that can barely reach the pedals in some instances, that just love to be involved with it. So sometimes it's ideas. I'll come away and I'll spend some time thinking about a new idea or a new concept. For UK Drum Show, Main Stage Mini was an introduction 2 years ago when we saw so many young drummers at the show playing, watching artists, and playing on all the gear in the exhibition hall, with much enthusiasm and lots of noise too. And I just thought, how can we reward these guys? There's lots of distractions in the world now. We've touched upon a few: internet, social media, and all the rest of it. So we wanted to provide a platform for them. So we created a room with stage and kits and everything else for the kids to submit videos to us, and we would have a look through them and pick some of the younger kids that were not coming to the show anyway, but also wanted to be part of the show. And the really nice thing about that was to make them feel really special. So whilst you can visit the website for UK and you've got all the main stage artists, there was a Main Stage Mini, and they've got their own artist pictures on there. And as some of them are quite young, so their bios are very long because they might only be 8 years old.
Cool.
But there's a bit of story there about what inspired them. Why were some of the why did they choose drumming? Who are their heroes? And it's just nice for the kids to think, look, we're seeing our picture on the same social media that we're seeing all these celebrity drummers, and I thought that was nice, and that's something we hope to incorporate into the Europe Drum Show in the future as it grows, and add a stage for the kids too. We have got for the Europe Drum Show this year. We've partnered with a couple of people with creating Germany's Next Top Drummer, which is something we've agreed to be a part of, and we've got some kids playing on the main stage Saturday morning at the Europe Drum Show. I think it's 4. It's been whittled down to for 4 finalists, and we hope to have a celebrity judging panel to be part of that process. And that's been, so I'm told, advertised to a number of the German schools to say, look, send in your videos and put yourself through the process, and maybe be involved with being on the main stage at Europe for the Saturday on the 11th of April.
That's brilliant. I think for people who don't know the show or haven't been yet there, every hour, because Neil was just talking about it gets at some point very loud, because every hour the customers are allowed to play on the drums or cymbals. And that's a real, to be honest, this is a really interesting experience. Yeah, I mean, people who don't see Neil now, he's cranking up, he's laughing, and me too, because like every hour, the people are allowed 50 minutes to bash on everything in, well, a little bit, well, they're allowed to play the drums. And believe me, in a hall, it's very, very loud.
It is loud, yeah. I mean, look, it's a drum show.
But that's great. I love it. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. People come to the show and they want to hit things. Does it make any musical sense? Probably
no.
not. Nobody can hear much, but I think again, it's a feeling. It's still the opportunity to sit down, play something, feel it, even if they can't hear it in all the noise, and then it's followed by 45 minutes of not
Quiet.
hitting drum kits. If people want to hit a cymbal or strike a snare during the 45 minutes of quieter time, that is all acceptable. I don't think anybody would thank me if we didn't manage the sound to just have 15 minutes on the hour of everything. I think people would be walking out the doors if we weren't controlling that level of noise.
I think what is great about that the digital world can't deliver. You have to touch, you have to feel the instrument, and in this 50 minutes, what you said, it's kind of nonsense. But but I think it's so great. You can make contact to the instrument. You feel the vibes, and everybody is playing. You see some drummers, even from different booths, are playing the same shit. So they're playing the same beat, and they locking in together. Some are just bashing around and are solo stuff. But this is something which the digital world can't deliver: touch, feel, experience, and this is. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
No,
I think the other thing to add to the touch and feel side of it, of course, is, without sounding too depressing, is you've got the benefits of ordering gear on the internet. Everybody has now, haven't they? Germany and Thomann. I mean, that they are a force to be reckoned with. Very efficient, great business. And there are still retail stores for people to go in and try things in person. But the UK, probably more so, whether Europe will follow suit, is definitely the dedicated drum shops that just specialize in drums and nothing else. Unfortunately, we seem to lose a couple of these every year. There's lots of different reasons. There's no point complaining about evolution and, being able to order things online. But what the shows represent still is the opportunity to go in and see stuff, because, there are only a handful of dedicated drum shops in the UK. I can't imagine there is quite a number of drum shops in just Germany that specialize just in drums. There are some good music shops in Germany for sure. So what it still enables people to do is come in and see and try things that perhaps they haven't got a music shop nearby, or some of the music shops, of course, we have somewhere in the order of about 60 odd companies that and more, representing more than 100 or so brands. You won't necessarily see the full ranges of everything in a little drum shop. You just won't. So what I hope, I know I've had some experience shared with me from music retailers, is that when people come to the shows and they feel inspired, that they then go on to buy from those retail shops in the future. To try and keep them alive, and support your local drum shop, because the internet and everything is great, but if you break some sticks or bust a head, a couple of hours before you've got a gig, unless you've got spares, so I think, the message is don't forget your local drum stores. We only play a part 2 days of the year in Germany and in Liverpool, but the drum shops and the music shops are there to support you all year round. So we all play a part.
I think that's very, very important. I mean, for example, I think when you buy cymbals, in my opinion, you can't buy a cymbal via internet. I have to go into the music shop. I have to play it for real, and then please, guys, buy it at the shop where you try out the cymbals or the drums, because they need our support. In my opinion, it's very important, because they take the time to give you advices, to let you play on the instruments, whatever. So I think it's a very good point and a very strong point. Support your local dealers. It's very important, not only in the drum business, in a lot of businesses.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the musical shops, they go to great expense stocking stock for you to come in and try. The stock's then used. So, you've got to support them. So we just hope with the shows, for whatever part we play, top down, if we're inspiring people to play drumming, that when they return home to wherever home is, because we have people traveling from all over the world to come to both shows. We just hope that when they get home, that translates into them supporting their local music shops.
But let's go back to you. We can feel your passion about the community and the drumming. But
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about you. You planned 12-month a show. Let's talk about the pressure. The pressure when so much depends on one weekend. So it has to work on this specific date. There is no chance to do it 1 week later. How do you deal with the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something I've over years of doing shows. I mean, I only do 2 shows presently with the Europe and the UK show, but in the past I used to run 4 UK shows simultaneously. I think that the pressure is not just felt by me. I suppose the pressure is also felt by the companies that choose to be part of the show, because they realise that whatever the date is of the show, that is the date of the show. Do I wish? And some of the culprits, some of the companies will know who I won't say who they are, but I just wish that they, in some instances, they have an idea of what we're trying to do, and that whatever pressure we put on them, it's because we have to get things done, because we want the best experience for us and our guests, but we also want the exhibitors to have a good experience too. So I suppose that's another pressure. I mean, look, companies will book spaces at the show, they'll book an exhibition booth, and that's great. And we need that, because obviously that's what helps fund the show, invest in the show's future and everything else. And most companies, for the most part, understand that I wouldn't be sat here talking to you now unless the companies, they back me. They get behind me and go, look, Neil, we think you're doing a cool thing. We understand why you're doing it. You're trying to stimulate a sector, or drumming in this instance, which helps us throughout the year and beyond. It's content. It's not just the weekend. You have filming, artists being filmed. Everything that happens at that show spreads out 360 degrees. When people leave there, they've got content on their phones, the social media feeds, the companies, the individuals, and everything else. So some of the pressures with the guys that book the booths, I mean, this is going to sound crazy to some degree, is, yeah, great, book a booth, fantastic. We need your support. We really need your support for us to be successful with what we do. But talk to us more about what you're doing. The show is only 1 weekend. So the companies, we very much see it as a partnership. So the pressures we put on them, hopefully they see it for the reasons why we put pressure on them, and we have the pressure on ourselves, is you can't pull the show together in a matter of weeks. It is months and months and months. Yeah. There are lots of distractions with your everyday life, your jobs, your family, playing football, going swimming, doing whatever, your other hobbies. We are competing with other hobbies as well, aren't we? So it's having the presence of mind to constantly be in people's minds with what we're doing. Because, again, we succeed with bookings from the companies, but also from the public buying tickets and coming to the show. So we encourage the companies to just talk to us as much as they can and find time for us to talk about new products, or have they just signed a new artist, or is there a cool video of something being demonstrated? And that is a pressure that me and my team, be it a small one, are always chasing companies saying, look, talk to us. We want to tell people about what you're doing. And I suppose the reality is if you're not in the industry, even the biggest companies, they've only got so many resources. And, just trying to be practical about things, they will try and deal with things in a chronological order, which makes perfect sense logically. But with shows, it's about, hey, I'm here. This is what we're doing. This is what we've got. This is what we're going to show you. This artist is going to do that. And it's having that constant feed from our partners, because it is very much a partnership. So that is definitely a pressure that I feel. I'm always saying to marketing or social media guys that do a great job for us, saying, look, where are we at? Has this company sent you information? They've invested in the show. Great, brilliant. We need that. Fantastic. What have they sent you for us to tell our audience about what they are, who they are, what they represent, and what's motivated them to make whatever they've made if they're showing a product? And that can sometimes be a little bit frustrating if that's, I've often used the phrase with friends sometimes, it's like trying to push a boulder up a hill wearing a pair of flip-flops.
Yeah.
We are really trying to help the companies because, we've come out of COVID. There's everything that's going in the world with inflation and,
I think
the cost of living, and, it's just get the best out of us. We will fight your corner right up until the show, but just tell us about you.
Yeah, Dirk and I are really exactly feeling the same. Just on a different level, because you don't know this, but we have this podcast, and we have also, it's called a ticker, where we talk about upcoming events like the Europe Drum Show or about new gear, and we are always trying to get in contact with the companies, and it's so hard, and it's we just want to say, hey, here we are, just support us a little bit, not with money, but with the informations.
Yeah.
So, and that's really, really hard. So we can really feel with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what the company should recognize, whether they're working with me or you guys or anybody else, is look, they've got their own social media. They've got, massive reaches. In some instances, are in the millions with their own social media. But there's always new people that are going to be interested in drumming that aren't on their radar. And whether it's yourselves or ourselves or anybody else, we deal with other publications that help us with promote the shows, and podcasts like this, which and video vlogs and things, which we're really grateful for to spread the word. But the company just got to realize, look, it's complementing what they're doing already. It's not a replacement, but just if everybody is talking about it, it just spreads further, doesn't it? And it gathers more enthusiasm, and it reaches people that they won't have currently watching what they're doing. So I just say to all these companies that are watching it, look, just embrace them. I know it's really hard. We know you've got really small teams, and they have. Like I say, some of the biggest corporations are down to 2 or 3 people, just trying to do as much as they can under huge pressures sometimes to do lots of different things simultaneously and plan for the future. But just find 5 minutes for us. That's all we're saying. We want to do right by you. Just share it with you. We want something to say about your business or your artist,
Right.
Yeah.
Can we go a little bit in detail? Is it okay for you, Neil? How much influence do brands and companies have on the artist suggestions?
It's a mixture, really, I suppose. It's a question that I've often been asked before. Generally, what happens is there may be some artists that we would like to have at the show. If we want those artists at the show, we will either reach out directly because we already know who they are, or obviously we know their artist liaison within the given company that could reach out on our behalf to ask them. We get approached from companies to say we would like to put forward this artist, and that isn't a given. So we are grateful for the support that the companies offer with putting forward artists, because in lots of cases, invariably they help with costs and travel and things like that. So that's great. But the thing that we have to remember is that it comes back to experiences again. It's no good if we've got a whole weekend unless you're a rock drummer nut, that everything is rock or everything is jazz or everything is prog. So, we have to consider that. Or if a couple of artists are similar, so we try and be mindful of the genre of artists that are appearing at the show over the weekend. Mike Dolbear and Mike Johnston do it very well with their rooms, and they go about that with some autonomy from me. They will say to me, "Look, this is who I'm thinking of having. What do you think? This is cool, yeah?" I'm like, "Yeah, great. It's one less job for me." But with main stage for both shows, yes, it's definitely a selection process. And I think the other thing we have to consider sometimes is, look, is that particular drummer got new material out, or the band that they work within got new material, which makes it interesting. The other thing is we're very blessed that there's always a lot of drummers that will reach out to us for main stage. And that can sometimes be tricky because you, for a couple of reasons, you don't want to offend or upset anybody by saying, "Look, no thank you this time." But it's because we want a mixed genre. We also have to think about who's current. The other thing that we have to think about is the balance. So sometimes we'll have, up and coming players, younger players, and then you'll have, you can have anybody from, say, Grayson to Todd Zuckerman. So it's the mixture of some of the young guns and some of the well-respected, I say older players, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but those that have probably inspired a lot of the younger players in the first place. So we like your heroes. We like to have, and of course, again, coming back to social media, Grayson was a YouTube sensation, and there are plenty good players out there that may not be a household drumming name, but if you look at some of the young influencers or some of the young players on socials that have got massive followings, and then there's a couple that Estepario is someone that we would love to have come play. That just have got a phenomenal following online. A non-drummer watching that's like, wow, that's really impressive to watch. So it's all those different things. And of course, I think another thing which is always a bit of a challenge, and it's just because the music industry is so male dominant, is also trying to find quality female players as well. We don't mind, whether you're, straight, gay, whatever, black, white, yellow, blue, pink, whatever it is, as long as you can play the drums well, and we think people come and enjoy watching your performance, it's fair game. Like, get in contact with us. We'll watch the video. We don't care what your orientation is. Let's just watch the video. We're only interested, the single thing we're interested in is drummers. Mm-hmm. It's drummers. That's it. All the rest of it is politics and labels. We're just interested in drummers. So yeah, I mean, we'd love to see more female drummers involved with the show. We have got some involved with Europe, and we've got some plans with UK too for the coming year. But there's less of them. And I guess some of the lady drummers that are out there, they're at the top of their game. Sometimes it's availability, because that's another thing. When I'm coming to choose main stage, I mean, I think, yeah, great. I'd love Abe. I'd like these guys, like that, and I'd like Stanley and other names. But, if Stevie Wonder phones up and goes, yeah, I need you there, the slot's gone. He's left. He can't do it anymore. The same with Abe. If Paul McCartney rings up and goes, I need you there, we've lost the slot. So, there's always some of these aspirational drummers that we would like, but sometimes, again, it can be left quite last minute. We've had a few people saying to me, reference the Sunday lineup. Oh, who have you got? Who have you got? We want to book Sunday tickets as well. Like, who have you got? And it's like, we're not holding off on purpose. It's just some of the names they have to check whether they're free from the band, or some of them have got recording. They're in the studio recording, and they don't always know what the schedule is. So we sometimes have to wait, and that's another frustration. Sometimes we can speak to a drummer. There's a couple of really great drummers that we're speaking with, and they can say, "Yeah, really want to do it. Super pumped to come and do your show. Fantastic." And it's like, oh, another month's gone by. Any update, guys? Do you know when you're going in the studio? Might you be free? Oh, hello, me again, a month later. So, I mean, it's frustrating, but you understand why. If anybody's good at what they do, they're just going to be busy, aren't they?
But do you have a personal deadline for them? Do you say, okay, I need it 24 hours earlier or something like that?
We can make that request. I mean, I think we try and put some pressure on them. We know that, if they're busy and they're gigging, we're on a tour, I get messages, and I can sometimes get messages all times of the day, all hours of the day, early hours of the morning. I mean, I can remember, bless him, he's passed away now, sadly, but we had Ralph Peterson, who done UK drum show a few years ago now, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning on the Monday morning after the show had finished, and my phone wasn't on silent, but it was turned down low, so I could kind of, oh, what's that? Or phone's ringing. Pick up the phone, it's Ralph on the phone. Hey man, it's all gone wrong. It's gone wrong. I'm like, right. What's gone wrong now? Oh, there's no plane. I'm like, right. What do you mean there's no plane, Ralph? And it's like, oh, and the airline had gone into bankruptcy overnight that we'd booked a flight for him to fly home. So there's some other pressures for you that sometimes you're like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and Ralph's airline has now got into administration. And he's at the airport, and he's got a lecture at Berkeley College in 24 hours time. So it's. I think anybody is thinking about getting into events or exhibitions, certainly on the size and scale that we do them, it's not for the faint-hearted. It is pressure from lots of different ways all year round. You hope that the public and drummers are going to buy tickets and come and see you and come and see your shows and be part of the community for the weekend. You hope that the companies can see what we're doing and that we're growing, and they will support our efforts to make these. You just want to make these things cool. We've got to continually make music cool for people to want to invest their time and effort into it in the future. We want those young people to think, well, I could do this, or I could do that, but no, I want to play music. I want to make music professionally. I mean, I know I waffle on quite a lot, so forgive me, gentlemen, but I am quite passionate about these things, as you can probably tell. But
go ahead.
The thing is with music, whether you're a drummer or a guitarist or anything else, or you play the cello or whatever, a didgeridoo, music is part of our everyday lives. Everyday lives. It's driving to work in the morning with a stereo on. It's going for a jog with your headphones on, or walking the dog, with some music with you. It's commercials on the television, or entry credits or music for the latest blockbuster movie. It's going to Glastonbury. It's going to festivals. It's going to gigs that, I still fondly talk about the Pink Floyd gig I went to years ago, and I still remember what it felt like, what the air felt like that evening. And, it's just get involved with it. Just play music. Everybody wins. It's a real gift, I suppose. It's just stop and think about your everyday and just think, I think subconsciously people don't even probably, just because it's always there. I think people just, if you just sat in a silent room and you heard nothing, maybe that would bring it home. But I promise you, every day music plays a part in your lives, and it's part of our celebration, isn't it? We use music for celebrating, so many different things. Weddings and graduations, and in some cases, remembrance. When we're remembering people that aren't around anymore. That it's such a gift that anybody that's involved in the music industry, for whatever size or scale that they're involved with it, is just remember you all play a part of that. So get involved with the shows and let's help make more generations of music to contribute to all our future music projects together and what we all enjoy as a civilization,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now-
Wise words.
Very wise words. Now let's look in the future, because what would you like the UK Drum Show and Europe Drum Show to represent in perhaps 10 years?
Oh, 10 years.
or take 5 years or 20,
Yes.
whatever your plan is.
I suppose, there is a kind of a formula of experiences is what we want to create. There are always other ideas that we're thinking about what we can do on small scale, some on larger scale, some on frightening larger scale. When you think, oh, don't sleep at night. I think ultimately it's just what whether it's 5 years or 10 years or 20 years from now. It's a lot of it is just from some of the comments that I've made. Really, it's just the wish and desire for people to really recognise what a gift music is to the world, because it really is. Whatever type of music that you love or listen to, it is a gift. It's someone's creation to share with everybody, which is pretty special when you think about it. So if we can just continue to create and inspire more people to play in our instance drums, I think that's good enough. That's good enough for me. I mean, there's only so many more ideas I can come up with. I'm sure there'll be a few others. I'd like to add other elements into the Europe show that we've had some success with UK, and with the support of the companies, enables me just to reinvest and create some of these other ideas. I mean, UK Drum Show has got 16 experience rooms upstairs, as well as a 1,300 seater order. Yeah, it's crazy. 1,300 seater auditorium. Whatever it is, 3,000 or 4,000 square meters dedicated to drums. I mean, that's more than the NAMM show presently. In Liverpool. And to be fair, the offering in Europe, for year one last year. I mean, there hasn't been a gathering in Germany of that many drum companies in one place in years.
Yeah.
Absolutely years. I think another thing, if I may just add with Europe and with UK, is it's not necessary to get caught up with where they are. I mean, England is a little island. I mean, if I get up early in the morning and fill my car up with fuel, I can drive from one end to the other end of it. Okay, it'd be tiring, but I can do it in a day, and Europe is, shows in Germany, but it neighbours lots of other friends and nations. France, Italy, Austria, Switzerland. None of these are a million miles away. And I think sometimes companies can get caught up too much with where things are. We've got, unless there's strikes, of course, or lots of snow, we've got great infrastructure to get to wherever it may be. And that, I mean, we had, I don't know what it was. I mean, it was a horrendous amount of different countries, different nations that took time and effort. I mean, there was there was almost a competition online. I think we put something on Facebook, and a father contacted me, being very practical, and said, "Look, I've got a son and his friend wants to come to Europe Drum Show. Firstly, are they allowed?" And I'm like, "Well, of course they're allowed. Why would they not be?" And he said, "No, they're only sort of 16." I'm like, "Okay, how far away are you?" And it was something like 240 kilometers away. So I was thinking, okay, that's a fair way for a 16-year-old. Anyway, so we agreed to it, and he said, yes, him and his friend, they'll come. They want to come and spend the day or the weekend at the show. And I said, look, where are you traveling from? And he mentioned the name of a town in Germany, which I can't recall, and I probably would pronounce it completely wrong anyway and embarrass myself. But we posted something on social media, just on Facebook, and then all of a sudden we had somebody going, I'm coming from India, or I'm coming from Ukraine, or I'm coming from, and it was just, you just thought, that is amazing, isn't it? A slightly chubby guy from a slightly chubby surfer guy,
a handsome guy,
from Devon in England that nobody knows.
We are working on it.
And we've got people traveling from all around the world because they feel inspired to do so.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
It is unbelievable. Some of the destinations. I mean, we had somebody travel from Antarctica to go to the UK drum show. I mean, that's mental, isn't it? Absolutely mental. But it just comes back to what we're creating as a community. And everyone gets caught up with the day to day, but sometimes you've just got to hit pause for a minute and go, look at what we've done as a small niche within the music industry. Drumming is just a small part of everything else that goes on. But you think, well, you just want to say, well done, drumming community. Look what you've done. We've worked together. We've shared a message of what we've all collectively created. We're coming together with gear, we're coming together with artists and clinics and everything else. And that has inspired enough people to get on planes from India, Pakistan, New Zealand, lots of different European destinations, America. I mean, we've only just confirmed last week, we've got an exhibitor coming. One's just come from Nashville, and we're dealing with another exhibitor that's coming potentially from Pakistan. I mean, do you know what I mean? But
awesome.
It's because the proposal and the experience is appealing enough for people to think, oh, I want to be part of that. I want to come along and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool thing.
Drumming connects people.
Yeah.
It does. Like no other.
Yeah.
And they share. And I think that the other lovely thing is that some of the artists that appear on the main stage and other areas at both shows, what they're really great at is being ambassadors, because they'll do a performance, but then they're quite helping they'll come and mingle. They're there doing selfies and autographs and things. They're not hidden away. They're not in some back room where people can't see them or talk to them, or they come and walk around. I mean, last year, Ash Sohn walked into the UK drum show. I went, oh, hi, Ash, what are you up to? You're working? He goes, oh, I'm just here for the Handmade. And that's great. Other people, these drummers that have got very successful careers and still remain to have great careers, just taking time out and sometimes visiting the shows just as a drummer, regardless of what's going on over the weekend. They're coming to the show to hang out and do selfies and just be part of it. So it's really nice that even drummers that, they aren't on any of the stages or aren't in the clinic rooms or what have you, that still take time out wherever they are. I mean, Ash is in Norfolk. It's like it's the other side of the country. It's miles away. And we'll come over and it's just a great hang,
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
So we've learned at the beginning you're not a drummer.
that's right.
But if you will retire someday in the very, very, past future, in the very far future,
Yeah.
will you pick up some drumsticks and get a drum set to your house?
I've always been interested in playing. I have to confess, there's been plenty of different musical tunes or bands or artists that I've listened to and still listen to. I mean, I was only listening to Phil Collins "Coming in the Air Tonight," driving home the other night, and yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of air drumming, and
Sure.
so I think it's like anything. It's time, isn't it? I spend all my time trying to create this for drummers. Some drum teachers have threatened me with, "We are going to teach you to play drums." Like, I'm not opposed to the idea. I think it would be very cool. I think it, for my basic air drumming, when I do it in the car or in private when I'm listening to something on the TV or something, I can see how, the strike of the drum, the crack of the snare, the crash on the cymbals is, it's a physical thing, isn't it? It's great.
Yeah.
So I can certainly see the appeal. So yeah, maybe when I'm a bit grayer and a bit older, and I've got probably an electronic drum kit with headphones, so my wife doesn't leave me. Having had to put up with all the drum shows over the years. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I dabble with a bit of acoustic guitar occasionally, but yeah, there's a chance in the future. Wouldn't that be a thing?
Yes.
Awesome.
So, Neil, thank you very much for taking your time. We really, I think everybody can feel the passion you have for this community and for the events you organize for us, the drummers, and it's really incredible. And we have to be so thankful that someone crazy like you is outside there and just do this. It's crazy. So thank you very much. And really, we have to support you at the event. So now, everybody who hears or sees this, please come to the UK Drum Show in England or the Europe Drum Show in Friedrichshafen in Germany. So support this event.
Be part of it.
Be part of it. It's a big event. It's just a cool event. And thank you very much for doing this, Neil.
Yeah, thanks,
Neil.
guys. Yeah,
thanks so much.
Guys. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for sharing the story and your passion for the shows as well. It's really appreciated.
Thank you very much. Great to have you. Neil.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
guys. Bye. Bye.
That was very much English because now we talk in German again.
Let's did it.
Let's English for runaways. My English is not yellow from the egg. So, in dem Sinne mal, jetzt haben wir alle schlechten Englischwitze rausgehauen.
Ja.
Es geht jetzt mal wieder im Gearcheck um eine, wie könnte es anders sein? Der Dirk hat uns lange damit, ja eigentlich auch nicht so lange, weil der Ludwig Snare war auch zwischendurch am Start, aber seit langem mal wieder eine reine, echte Snare Drum aus deutschem Anbau, kann man fast schon sagen. Denn das ist eine besondere Snare aus der Handmade Custom Drums Schmiede von Holger Reith. Denn diese Snare Drum ist gesund, kann man so sagen, denn sie ist aus Apfelbaum. Und das ist spannend. Und weil das so spannend ist, hat der Dirk sogar gesagt, ich möchte gar nicht alleine darüber sprechen, sondern der Holger Reith darf sogar selbst noch hier zu Wort kommen. Und was das alles ist und so weiter und so fort, das sagt uns der Dirk jetzt mal ganz kurz noch selbst.
Und Handmade Drums ist eine Boutique, Snare, Schmiede, aber nicht nur Snare Drums. Also Holger macht auch komplette Schlagzeuge. Und ich bin schon lange Jahre ein Fan dieses Hauses, das weiß auch jeder. Und freue mich riesig, dass ich euch eine ganz besondere Holznare heute vorstellen darf. Und der Holger ist bekannt eigentlich dafür, dass er seine Drumsets oder Snare Drums in der sogenannten Fassbauweise herstellt, zu Englisch Stave Shell Konstruktion. Und diesmal hat Holger mir auf den Weg, ich war zu den Percussion Kreativ Teacher Tagen unterwegs und habe bei ihm kurz Zwischenstopp gemacht, hat er mir eine Apfel-Snare Drum mitgegeben. Ich habe noch nie eine Apfel-Snare Drum gespielt und bin natürlich sehr, sehr gespannt, wie sie denn klingt. Und Das Besondere an dieser Apfel-Snare ist zum einen, dass sie erstmal aus heimischem Anbau ist. Das heißt also aus der Gegend von Hammelburg ist das Holz. Und sie ist nicht in der Fassbauweise hergestellt, sondern in der sogenannten Steamband Solid Snare Bauweise. Steamband bedeutet dampfgebogener Kessel. Das heißt, wir haben hier ein Vollholz-Massivbrett, welches unter Dampf gebogen und gedehnt wird und geformt wird, um es natürlich dann in die Form der Snare Drum zu bringen. Und das Besondere ist auch, dass es meist nur oder Steamband Shells sind in der Regel nur, also quasi haben nur eine Naht. Das heißt, beide Enden werden zusammengefügt. Das heißt, es entsteht nur eine Naht, nicht wie zum Beispiel bei Holz-Snare Drums. Das heißt, es sind viele Schichten, die zusammengepresst werden und verleimt werden, sondern hier haben wir nur eine Nahtstelle. Und das macht sie natürlich ganz besonders. Ich habe insgesamt 10 Stimmschrauben, habe eine mega Trickabhebung mit am Start, auch noch mit dem Handmade-Logo versehen. Vorne natürlich auch die Snare Drum, das seht ihr natürlich noch. Und ich gebe euch natürlich nachher noch einen Einblick in das Innere der Snare Drum. Das seht ihr dann hier eingeblendet. Also eine wunderschöne Snare Drum. Die Snare Drum, wie gesagt, ich habe die noch nicht gestimmt. Ich habe die so aus dem Snare-Koffer genommen. Und jetzt wollen wir einfach mal gucken, was erwartet uns denn da. Also mehr geht es schon in die tiefe Richtung herein. Machen wir mal den Rim-Click. Ich habe die Snare Drum jetzt in eine mittlere Stimmung gebracht. Jetzt stimme ich mal die Snare extrem hoch. Country Song Studioproduktion mit Tuning. Funky Soul Song, Dry High Tuning. Hier hört ihr einen kurzen Ausschnitt aus dem Interview mit Holger Reith. Ja, ihr Lieben da draußen, ihr habt ja jetzt gerade den Snare Drum Test gehört von einer wunderbaren Apfel Snare Drum aus dem Hause Handmade Drums. Und jetzt freue ich mich riesig, euch begrüßen zu dürfen, den Handwerksmeister hinter Handmade Drums. Hallo Holger, schön, dass du bei uns im Podcast bist und dass du dir die Zeit nimmst, uns ein paar Fragen zu beantworten. Hallo Holger.
Ja, hallo Dirk, vielen Dank für die Einladung. Das freut mich sehr, dass ich ein paar Fragen beantworten kann. Vielleicht bringe ich ja das ein oder andere, was ihr noch nicht gewusst habt. So.
Du bist Schreiner vom Beruf.
Ja, ich bin Schreiner, gelernter Schreiner und auch Schreinermeister seit 1996.
Wonach richtet sich dann bei dir die Gratung der Snare? Weil es gibt ja 45 Grad, es gibt Round Badge. Das kann man ja bei dir theoretisch auch Kundenwünsche, du nimmst natürlich Kundenwünsche entgegen. Was macht das alles so ein bisschen mit dem Sound? Dass du das, oder ist das jetzt...
Also das Grundlegende ist mal, je mehr Fellauflage das du hast, also wenn die Außenrundung, je größer die Außenrundung ist, desto mehr liegt das Fell am Kessel an und desto mehr Holzton oder basslastiger wird der Ton.
Und ich würde sagen, auf ganz, ganz bald. Und wenn natürlich Kundenwünsche da sind, sollen sich die Leute gerne mit dir in Verbindung setzen.
Jawohl, alles klar. Vielen Dank, dass ich ein bisschen Auskunft geben durfte.
Gerne, Holger. Klasse.
Nach so viel Informationen kommen wir natürlich wie immer noch zu den Chefkoch-Empfehlungen der Woche. Und meine Empfehlung ist heute eine, wie soll ich das sagen? Also ich empfehle euch einen Patreon-Kanal oder einen Patreon-Artist. Und der ist ganz neu bei Patreon. Wer Patreon nicht kennt, das ist eine Seite, wo man Kreative unterstützen kann, die sonst eigentlich nicht so eine große Plattform haben. Und
es ist nicht OnlyFans, oder?
Es ist OnlyFans für Kreative, würde ich sagen, an der Stelle. Also wer da draußen mehr mit OnlyFans vertraut ist, der Dirk kann euch da gerne mal zu aufklären. Aber
sicher
ich
doch, ja,
selbst bin
sicher
auch
doch.
als Kreativer bei Patreon
Ach so, ich
unterwegs
dachte,
zum Beispiel. Aber ich empfehle natürlich nicht meinen Patreon-Kanal oder meinen Patreon-Account, sondern den von unserem lieben Kollegen Felix Kraft. Denn der Felix mit dem Trommel Talk ist jetzt neu bei Patreon und ich finde, er hat auch jetzt jahrelang alles idealistisch für die Community getan und er hat jetzt einen Patreon-Kanal oder einen Patreon-Account gegründet und man kann und das finde ich nicht zu viel Geld, ab 3 Euro im Monat den Felix unterstützen. Und er schreibt dazu ganz witzig auch noch, spendiere den Trommeltalk einmal im Monat einen Kaffee. Das lässt mich die Arbeit zu später Stunde mit voller Energie machen. Also, der Felix Kraft vom Trommeltalk, einfach Schlagzeug, hat einen Patreon-Kanal. Lasst ihm auch ein bisschen Liebe da. Wir selbst waren auch schon mehrfach, also ich schon zweimal, Dirk war, glaube ich, einmal bei ihm im Podcast. Und genau. Link ist natürlich in den Shownotes. Wer bei Patreon kein Mitglied ist, ich weiß nicht genau, wie das läuft, ob man da selbst auch einen Account haben muss oder nicht, ob man angemeldet sein muss, das weiß ich leider wirklich tatsächlich nicht. Aber wer mal zumindest überlegt, schaut mal vorbei und unterstützt den Trommeltalk, denn er hat es auch definitiv verdient.
coole Sache. Jo, da müssten wir uns eigentlich auch nochmal was überlegen. Ja, ja, ja. Ich habe was ganz anderes und ich wollte eigentlich einen Handstaubsauger empfehlen. Denn beim Trommeln sind ja so viel Sägespäne und von mir, das Problem hast du nicht, aber bei mir auch der Access-Teppich, da sind so viele Haare, das ist unfassbar. Und ich hatte mir
Dirk,
jetzt
musst du dir
echt,
auch langsam Gedanken über Haarausfall machen?
nee, komischerweise nicht. Ist auch, was heißt komischerweise, das ist auch gut so, da bin ich auch sehr dankbar für. Aber also meine Teppiche, da sind unheimlich viel Haare und auch hier im Studio oder im Unterrichtsraum. Und da habe ich mir jetzt einen Handstaubsauger vor langer Zeit bestellt und der ist scheiße. Und ich kann nicht mehr zurückgehen, weil ich zu lange gewartet habe, weil ich ihn nicht aufgemacht habe.
Nein.
Ja, und die Frist ist vorbei. Und so, jetzt habe ich gedacht, ich drehe mal den Spieß um.
Ja, hatte ich auch schon mal. Erinnerst du dich?
Ja, stimmt.
Dass ich auch
Hast
mal
du-
eine
stimmt.
eine Anti-Empfehlung hatte.
Genau, und das ist jetzt, also das Modell will ich gar nicht sagen, der ist einfach scheiße. Also,
Du
und ich
musst
war,
das Modell sagen, sonst fallen die anderen noch drauf rein.
ey, ich weiß es gar nicht, ich müsste jetzt echt aufstehen. Ich war nur einfach genervt und also das war jetzt auch jetzt kein 10-Euro-Kauf, ne? Nicht, dass ihr denkt, ich war jetzt total cheap irgendwie. Also ich habe tatsächlich ein bisschen, also nicht zu viel Geld in der Hand genommen. Und jetzt der Aufruf an euch, und zwar in den ganzen Trommelteppichen, da sind ja auch, was ja gut ist, damit die Bassdrum nicht rutscht, die Beine nicht, das ist ja kein flacher Teppich, sondern da sind ja auch, gerade wenn du so ein, wie heißen sie, von Ahead zum Beispiel, so ein Teppich hast, die ich mega finde, da sind ja auch so kleine Borsten oder Widerhaken drin und erstmal, man kriegt die ganzen Trommelspäne nicht rauf. Mich ärgert das irgendwann. Also ich will die irgendwann weghaben, ich muss dann saugen, dann war meine Überlegung, immer den Staubsauger von oben holen, hatte ich keinen Bock, dann habe ich wieder das Ding da, dann bin ich da auch wieder mit dem Rohr irgendwie, das hat mich genervt, also hatte ich irgendwann vor Weihnachten mir diesen Handstaubsauger bestellt, habe ihn vergessen, dass ich ihn habe und packe ihn aus gestern und wollte ein bisschen sauber machen und war tief enttäuscht. Und wollte ihn zurückgeben und das ging nicht mehr, weil die Frist abgelaufen ist.
Oh no.
Und also der Aufruf an euch, habt ihr einen Staubsauger, der wirklich so, weil so, es ist ja nicht jetzt irgendwie, wenn ich ein paar Reiskörner verstreut habe, so auf dem Küchentisch und die einsauge, also, ne, so einen Handstaubsauger habe ich wahrscheinlich erwischt. Habt ihr einen Staubsauger, der wirklich Power genug hat und dann noch natürlich als Akku, weil ich will nicht immer ein Stromkabel hinter mir herziehen, als Akku, der es schafft, quasi Strommelstockspäne, Haare, in der Lage ist aufzusaugen. Das schreibt doch mal echt in den Kommentaren, weil es gibt diese, so, ich wollte jetzt auch nicht 200 Euro ausgeben. Ich habe jetzt gestern auch mal geguckt, da gibt es diese von, weiß ich nicht, Dyson oder was, die
Vorwerk
großen Marken,
wahrscheinlich,
Vorwerk
so.
wahrscheinlich, sondern bist du aber alleine bei so einem Handstaubsauger bei 180, 200 Euro. Alleine schon. Die möchte ich nicht ausgeben. Jetzt habt ihr ja vielleicht einen Tipp. Oder ihr sagt mir ganz einfach, ey Brand, da musst du dir so einen teuren kaufen. Dann weiß ich noch nicht, ob ich das will. Aber vielleicht habt ihr ja, wo ihr sagt, ey, ich habe einen, der funktioniert wirklich, wirklich gut und ist auch erschwinglich noch. Wenn ihr da was habt, hast du eigentlich sowas? Ich meine, Haare ist jetzt nicht ganz so das Problem. mir.
Nicht wirklich. Ich habe einen von uns zu Hause ausrangierten Staubsauger.
Genau, aber ein richtiger Staubsauger.
Einen echten
halt.
Staubsauger. Einen
Genau.
echten Staubsauger.
Da bin ich
Von
dann,
Miele.
ja, da bin ich dann auch gestern wieder drauf zurückgekommen und das funktioniert, aber ich habe halt keinen Bock, diesen riesen Zack da und hin und her. Oder was mich manchmal auch nervt, kennt ihr doch auch im Unterrichtsraum, wir haben ja liebe, süße, kleine Schlagzeugschüler, die dann den Matsch an den Schuhen oder du hast dann die Kluten, wenn die einmal aufs Bassdrum-Pedal, habe ich so das Gefühl, ist der ganze Sandkasten mal eben ums Bassdrum-Pedal verteilt. Wenn ihr da eine Empfehlung an mich oder vielleicht auch an Timo, vielleicht wäre das ja auch was habt, weil da bin ich echt auf der Suche, weil ich war tief enttäuscht gestern.
Gut, der Dirk dreht den Spieß um. Ihr müsst ihm eine Empfehlung
Ja.
geben diesmal.
Ja.
Wir fassen nochmal zusammen. Am besten ein Handstaubsauger mit einem Akku,
Ja.
der ordentlich Power in der Dose
Genau,
hat.
Saugkraft hat, genau.
Hervorragend. Ich bin gespannt. Also ihr merkt schon, ihr seid diesmal schwer gefordert. Wir haben
Ja.
einmal die rechtliche Sache vom Beginn. Was ist mit Schneeräumen
Schneeschlippen.
und Salz? Und jetzt auch noch eine Empfehlung für einen Akkustaubsauger. Haut in die Tasten.
Bam.
Liebe Hörerinnen und Hörer, liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, das war die 134. Folge des Schlagabtauschs. Es ist Wahnsinn. Vielen lieben Dank fürs Reinschalten, auf welcher Plattform auch immer. Lasst uns ein bisschen Liebe da. Ich erinnere gerne an unseren YouTube-Kanal, falls ihr nicht sowieso jetzt schon da drauf seid. Wenn ihr drauf seid, ihr habt noch nicht abonniert, bitte abonnieren, klicken. Kostet nix. Gerne, wer noch nicht drauf war, draufgehen, abonnieren, klicken, kostet nix. Und wenn ihr euch ein Video von uns anschaut, zum Beispiel jetzt auch das aktuelle Gearcheck-Video vom Dirk oder diesen Podcast, gerne ein Like da lassen, kostet nichts. Und natürlich auch gerne mal kommentieren. Ey, das hat mir gefallen, das hat mir vielleicht auch nicht gefallen. Dieser Akkustaubsauger ist der beste, den ich jemals in meinem Leben hatte. Gibt es aber nicht mehr zu kaufen. Oder keine Ahnung. Also, haut in die Tasten, kommentiert. Das hilft dem Algorithmus nämlich. Also in dem Fall dann auch wieder uns. Und so weiter und so fort. Oder wenn ihr nicht ganz so öffentlich schreiben wollt, schreibt uns natürlich auch gerne Feedback, Kritiken, Anregungen an schlagabtauschpodcast@gmail.com oder schaut auch gerne mal auf der Schlagabtausch Homepage vorbei. Alle Links zu dieser Folge sind wie immer und wie üblich in den Shownotes. So, Dirk, musst du jetzt raus Schnee schippen oder was ist los?
Genau. Das wäre auch mein Schlusssatz heute. Es sind winterliche Zeiten, fahrt vorsichtig, bremst ein bisschen eher, nicht kurz vor der Kreuzung erst, sondern leitet den Bremsweg vorher ein. Ich wünsche euch eine tolle Zeit, bleibt uns gewogen, passt auf euer Podcast-Team, Dirk und
Timo.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Ciao.